Video. Yeah, strange times kind of video. Yeah, so really a bunch of weird stuff happening, and it's all this semi-drama, but not really drama kind of a thing. I don't know if I like that angle, but they'll have to do. So Fake Sagan's made a final video. I hadn't even finished doing his Trump thing, whatever that is. Couldn't even, just couldn't do it. You're just like, oh, these Trump people making $9 an hour, and proud of themselves. Trump's, the Republicans are going to probably repackage that old idea of theirs of having a teenager wage or something. They'll have like a $5 an hour wage for kids under 17 or something. That's probably what they're going to do for, the black people. It's do them that great favor of undercutting wages even deeper. It's just going to be this is just such a, such a mess, a 4-year fucking goddamn catastrophe. But anyway, so Fake Sagan's made I'm leaving, I'm going away forever for, at least for billions and billions and billions of microseconds or nanoseconds. I haven't decided whether, well, I'm saying forever in the sense for a very long time. I may be gone doing all my interactions with all my billions and billions of very good friends in the real world who are, they all have IQs of about 94, 87, somewhere. But if you convert the IQ points into micro nanoseconds of neurological contemplation, they still have billions and billions of thoughts and ideas. They're all just retarded ones. Facing facing life without any interaction with somebody I can relate to at all. Yeah, so the internet, for all of its God, this sucks. For all of that, it has these little things, the little ones, you interact with a few people, like even old fan or something, and it's just, wow, there's life on planet Earth, kind of a thing. But yeah, all these interactions are just so convoluted and strange. But like I said, this was not something, it should have been unanticipated. Fake Sagan's been strung a little loose, for a while. And the fact that I pulled the wrong string somehow. But he had a conversation with Brett Keane last night on the phone. That's, everybody should just blame that, right? Blame Brett Keane, because that'll fuck you up. Come on. I'm deliberately talking to Brett Keane. I can see you accidentally bang into him because, he's really big. He probably walks kind of sloppy, so it's pretty easy to bang into him. And so I can see you saying, oh, hey, Brett, you're kind of a mess. But, more of a mess. I can see that kind of interaction, incidental, accidental, but deliberately talking to him on the phone. Holy shit. Yeah, that's just... Anyway, I didn't point out in the other video, that, when I was talking about the Brett Keane thing and apparently he put up some video that's kind of clever in the sense he's, got a bunch of scientists talking about fantasy and, comparing that to religion. I guess it's something like that. I didn't watch it. But you're just saying, it doesn't matter what it is. Brett Keane didn't do it. He saw that somebody else did it. He said, oh, what a great idea. I'll steal it. Brett Keane doesn't do anything original, for fuck's sake. He sees other things that, well, that seems popular, or that seems popular. I'll rub some of that on me, and then maybe I can fool things into thinking I have that smell on me, and I can steal their dinner. But anyway, don't want to connect these subjects, but that was just a weird little bit of this thing. Deliberately talking to Brett Keane. Counsel from Brett Keane. So anyway, so fake saying, I mean, you could just, it was just rolling that way. I mean, 1 minute he's saying maybe my last response to inmendham, then 2 videos later he's saying, I'm not giving up, Gary. I'm going to be in this forever. You're stuck with it. Deal with it, pussy. And then 2 videos later, I'm leaving forever. I'm gone. I love you, but I hate you. Okay, well, fine. Sorry. But I mean, just, yeah, okay, so yeah, he wasn't strung very tight, or was strung too tight, strung wrong. There, that's it. But just really strange. And then I just for fairness' sake, the Ocean of Vonnie thing, I wasn't trying to put down anything. I was just trying to say in context. I didn't even have a chance to be in love with her. I mean, get real. I had a chance to be infatuated. I had a chance to be interested. But, all I could know was pieces of the story. I didn't have enough to, So how could I have anything more than a kind of a superficial infatuation? I mean, not that I was not that I didn't try to encourage more, but I mean, I didn't, You can't, I can't just grab them by the pussy, can I? I gotta wait for them to come to me and ask to have their pussies grabbed. Isn't that the way it's supposed to work? So, she didn't, rub it in my face. So, what can I say? Yeah. So it was not a put down in any kind. I just, she didn't let me in. I can't, What do you want me to say? It's not the kind of thing you can expect somebody to know the entirety and the substance of someone's character or what they're really about. You really just can't do that on a YouTube impression. It's just not enough. You need a little more than that. Alright, well, I don't want to get into that. Alright, so the other weird element of this was Christopher 7 guy made a video. And, thoughtful. I guess, I don't know, maybe he intended it to be a private thing to fake Sagan. It didn't seem entirely like a private video, but maybe that's what it was. And he just intended to tell fake Sagan, you look a little unstrung and look like a guy trying to find a glove that fits. And you're just trying on all kinds of silly gloves. And, Michael Jackson gloves. And you just haven't found the one that fits. And something like that. And I thought, it's a very fair kind of video. I mean, Christopher 7's a very fair kind of guy. I mean, he's thoughtful. And he tolerates people's stupidity. I mean, fake Sagan said a lot of things that a black man could find offensive. And Christopher 7 knew that it's, dumb white kid, they're dumb all over, black, white, all of them can be dumb. Say dumb things. And but anyway, it was a good video, and he's private now, so no point in talking about it, but it's nice seeing him anyway. Hasn't changed much, so that was pretty cool. And but yeah, like I said, it's a thoughtful video. Not scathing in any way. So anyway, so that was just all kind of weird. So it's all there's all these little bits of drama here. I mean, kernels of drama that just haven't dramatized. They didn't. There are like bombs that just didn't blow up. It looks like a grenade, and it rolls kind of like one, and but it's just not going to grenade. It I guess it's full of jelly beans or something. So I guess that's sort of good. I mean, once you're in the mood for some grenading, maybe it's like, jeez, I got all this gear on, I got my thing, I'm doing my whole bomb disposal thing, and, and the bomb is a ham sandwich, and it's just like, wow. So, I guess I could finish my Anticonavod. He did another video that just didn't take much notes for, because it just sort of a rehashy kind of thing, and, that's okay, too. But what he's not getting, I mean, this isn't, he's not recognizing that, again, as I stated before, I wouldn't have any problem with his philosophy if it just stayed his philosophy. If the only implication was this is how I'm going to live my life, and it didn't have tied to it some expectation that this is a life I'm going to have to live, or that his son is going to have to live. You know, that his son's going to have to tantra his way through existence, you know, to find it stomachable, that this is the game he has to play. You know, where deserve doesn't have much of anything to do with anything. And, you know, any kind of fair-minded gladiator doesn't really want to go into an arena where, you know, I've gone to the trouble to get myself good at this shit, I've practiced, I've done all this shit, and what, we're going to go into the arena and, you know, pick pieces of paper out of a bowl and decide, oh, you just got stabbed. Okay, your turn. Oh, you got the knife in the eye. Oh boy, that's a rough one, fella. Sorry. You know, then they're just going to find that like, well, why did I bother? You know, why, why exercise your brain? Why have thoughts? Why be intelligent? If the purpose is to suppress everything that you can glean as understanding and throw it in the toilet and just be a bug. I mean, it's a rather horrible waste. It's just, why make me capable of being intelligent if I have to be stupid to thrive? Ew. And so yeah, my only objection is that he's advocating for this, I'm going to force you to play a preposterous game and find some way to make the thing make sense. And then he says something like, everything can have a negative effect. And this is the very point, is that no, there's lots of really safe things to do. There's no negative effect because you didn't take any risk, you didn't take any chance. You know, if I don't go skydiving, I can't, my parachute can't not open, and I don't end up landing on somebody's cat. You know, nothing really that bad can happen if I don't go up in the plane, right? I mean, if I, you know, so, but it's just this negating that these decisions matter. That there's a huge difference between, you know, rolling the dioxin bottle back and forth, you know, on the edge of the lake, and just, or juggling the glass bottles full of, you know, arsenic. And just saying, no, let's put cement over that. These decisions are fundamentally different. And it's just, they just want to negate the difference because the difference if they concede the existence of the difference, then they have to concede that they have the intelligence to know the difference, and therefore they'll have to act differently. And that's all I see here, you know, is just selective ignorance. You know, put the blinders on when it's damn convenient. And especially when it has to do with somebody else's interests that you're going to step on. You know, you're going to trespass, and you want to make the trespass possible, and so you'll just pretend you didn't see the fence, you didn't see the sign, blinders are on, and now you can feel like you didn't do anything wrong. And just really crappy of them. And so his answer is, well, you just kill yourself. That's that's your choice. You know, if you can't take it, die. And you know, I'd almost say that was agreeable too, but most of the things in this circumstance don't have that option. They're not even close to having that option now. So if you gave people it doesn't matter how old you are, as soon as you say I don't want to play, your request is respected, so you don't have to spend 18 years first to being tormented. I mean, frankly, the first 18 years were probably the worst. So, you know, they had some really nice moments in them, but it was pretty much a imprisonment. It was, you know, it felt like a gulag to me. Every day waking up was like, man, do I really want to do that? You know, no, I wasn't, you know. And then once you start working and stuff, and oh man, what a drag. You know, your life becomes your work, and it's just caustic. So, no. What argument is there here? Again, I have no argument with your living the bug life as long as you're not going to spread it, because you're just not conceding the truth, which is that's how I got here, is people presuming I was going to be them when I was going to be me. I mean, my parents presumed I was going to be some kind of them. I was going to be something in their them realm, and that the them would be like them and would see some purpose in playing this game and the pretense, and you put on your costume as I am an adult white male and she's a wife and you're the kidly things and and everything's domestic and we might even put a picket fence around the yard and you know, and I was supposed to say, gee, that's the painting I want to be in. One of them Rockwellian things where you're sitting in a rocking chair going, hey, everything's great here. I'm petting the dog. You see that? I'm petting the dog and my hand's going like this for no good reason. Well, it's got my pipe in it. I have a pipe. Huh? I was supposed to do that, and it doesn't turn out that way. So again, what are you thinking, Anna Konovad, that your kid is going to be a tantriite? You haven't seen the real world where almost that never happens, except in like Islamabad, where kids are so isolated from reality that they have no choice, that they live in such sheltered and closed and North Korean style, no bit of information from the real world ever gets in kind of life, that they don't have any, that if they have any personal identity, it can never be expressed, because the hallways they can walk are so narrow. They cannot deviate from the proper language and the proper conversation and the proper behavior. They're smacked. So that's what you intend for your son. Because if you intend him to be free, what do you think of the odds are that he's going to see the vision in this? Hey, I'll just pretend I'm stupid when it's convenient. And he's not going to think that's exactly what he's doing. I'll just pretend I'm stupid when it's convenient. I don't see nothing when I don't want to see it. Fuck. Like I said, it's all fine if this is you in your life and the people who have decided to voluntarily associate with you are all willing to play by that kind of rules. But it's just bullshit to think you can conform the world to that ideology, that it's all going to come out yous and it's never going to be a them. And that's my objection. I'm not very happy that you people will struggle so hard to defend this nonsense. But again, I'm more interested in your victims than I am in your own victimization. I mean, I think you're psychotic. I mean, I think you have a fundamental damage in your perception, that you see purpose in struggle and fight for accomplishment that you concede is going to be annihilated by the universe. The universe is going to melt every dog tag. I mean, every gravestone, every marker, everything that is in any way a indication that the human species existed on a planet called Earth. It's all gone. It's all going away. It's all going to be turned back into little quanta zipping along its way. And so why keep forcing people just to go through another round of Borging? Borg, and then talk like you're doing something opposite to that, which is just so preposterous that somehow you're rebelling against the Borg by endorsing the Borg. I can't. How do I make sense out of that element of this? Again, if this was your own silly pinball machine, and you wanted to make a pinball machine where the ball flies out and hits you in the head, and it does all kinds of stuff, and you lost a finger, and you want to play some kind of X game pinball, fine. But why would you tie somebody to it? Shit. Alright. So another word he uses a lot is the word assumption. You know, all these assumptions, and you know, he doesn't classify the difference between real evidence and stupid assumptions. I mean, O.J. Simpson wasn't assumed guilty. He was proven guilty with a ton of fucking evidence. Keep using that example just to rub it in. You know, I'll do Trump examples more regularly. You know, and you know, there's no doubt about it. And there's, you know, when you casually blow off science and this and that, and you just call it all assumptions, they're not just assumptions. I mean, they're well supported descriptions, well supported by evidence, substantial volumes of evidence. And so much of the evidence, there's physical evidence, and then there's logical evidence, like the logical evidence of a God being a sadistic lunatic, that somehow the universe made an all-powerful being that is drunk or insane or colossally stupid or manifestly immature. You know, like somehow the universe would just make one of those out of nothing. It's almost like denying the reality that any kind of alien species would have had to be created through the same method we got created through, which is evolution. That it would have a lot of common stories to tell about its ancestry and what it had to get over and what it had to understand to be more functional than the insect it started off as. So, yeah, that's probably enough of that. So, yeah, so I'm not going to declare victory because obviously fake Sagan was, you know, an injured man, you know, you know, coming into the battle, and I think it's apt that I think he's still trying to find you know, maybe he needs a wooden leg. I don't know, you know, maybe, you know, I mean, he's still trying to find the way of actualizing what I think rightly thinks he has something to offer, and he has some skills, and he's unsure of them because he can never find a game where the skills match the game or something like that, I suppose. So I think the Christopher 7 analogy of a glove that fits, that he's sort of looking for that. And again, I've argued before that I've had a huge advantage in all of this, in that I never had to really think about it because I lived my philosophy really early. I mean, the conclusion I drew that I was in a nut house was almost immediate. It was almost on arrival. It took me about 5 minutes to have a less than optimistic view of what the fuck was going on. I found it all quite startling. Even the good parts. Like, my first conscious moment is having an erection in a wet diaper. I mean, that's, you know. And then I got up and I looked out the window. that's the one I remember. And yeah, it just didn't seem to make it. There wasn't anything about it that said, "This is your world, Gary. This is going to be a wonderful place." And there's nothing but like a kid going into a toy store. It just didn't. I didn't have any sense of wonder and I'm going to Disneyland. It just didn't feel like that's what it was going to be. And very soon and rapidly you find out that for every good feeling there's these shitty ones, and there's you know, things aren't what they need to be and I was unsettled, and I stayed unsettled for the rest of my life. So again, I didn't have to make any. I didn't have to sit anywhere and try to figure out what my balance is and all that kind of stuff. I was born on the tightrope, so to speak, so it wasn't an awkward place, and I didn't have to learn how to do it, and I didn't have to get over something, because it just all, right from the start, I was in trouble. So being in trouble is the native condition. Kind of, you know, something like that anyway. So, yeah, but the one thing Fake Sagan said that is just, I find just totally wrong. I mean, if he really believes this, I don't think he does, but I mean, I think he's just using it as a kind of it sort of makes him feel better about leaving. This idea that you can't influence anybody, you can't change a mind, you can't elevate a conversation, you can't enhance a conversation, you can't do any of this kind of stuff. Of course you can. And I think I've proven some of that. I've had to, you know, it hasn't been dramatic in the sense, it's not the kind of thing where you can expect to make the big wave all at once. And so it's one of those things where you have to push really hard to get it going, and then push back the other way. And you know what I mean? There's examples of that, like maybe pushing a car. That first few inches is really hard, but I mean the last 10 feet is really easy, right? I mean, once it gets going, once you get your going, you know, you got momentum, that's when it gets to be fun, right? That's when you see the real results of the really hard work you had to do to get that first inch, you know, to get that first little bit of going in the right direction. Yeah, so that's probably the way to, it's very much like that. It's like you gotta rock the car, you gotta find the rhythm, you know, and once you get it going, just boom, and you have that moment where, all right, go for it, push it, all the way. You know, this is the moment you have. You're on the peak, and you can go over the edge, and you know, it's like that. So I'm still thinking, I'm still pushing, I'm still trying to get enough momentum to get this thing out of the hole. But you can feel it a little bit. You can feel that that it's working, in the sense that it's the movements forward do seem to be bigger than the movements backward. Well, I mean, this whole Trump thing kind of blows that up, right? But and certainly in overall society, you know, it does seem like we've unfortunately, you know, the wheels have spun, and it's just spun back into a deeper hole, and that's unfortunate. So, you know, there's more work to be done. It's going to be harder to get it out this second time, and a third or fourth or fifth. So I'm not saying it's okay. I'll concede that it's not easy, but to say it can't be done, or that there isn't real promise here, and again, it's the argument I would still say is any bit of progress you can, you know, if you can just move the car a few inches forward, even if it's still in a hole, if you can make the hole point more forward, you know, have a longer trench to be in, yeah, even that's useful. Because, yeah, maybe that'll give you a little bit of a running start. Anyway, metaphor's metaphor. I just don't think I don't think it's good to go out on what I would consider a pretty false premise that it's all futile. I mean, no, not really. Yeah, I think it's good enough. So anyway, strange times. So, yeah, I would be, if somebody understands what the Christopher 7 thing was. I guess I could PM him or something. Say, hey, what's this about? But it's kind of strange. Maybe he took the video down. I think he took his video. I think he made his video private before Fake Sagan posted his goodbye. So, you know. But anyway. Strange week. That's all you can say, right? This is a strange fucking week. And, you know. It's cold here and kind of gloomy. I don't like it. It's kind of got me down. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything else to comment on. I'm sure somebody asked me some questions. I guess I'll do a couple of comments just to finish this off. So it looks like there's a Piro comment. Oh my. Let's see. And then let me ask you a question. I'm curious. Has Anaconda ever responded directly to any of your videos? Well, sort of, maybe, kind of. I mean, he's never played a video and responded to it, so he doesn't exactly paraphrase me correctly all the time, but and yeah, no, it's always a little bit askew. I mean, you know, he doesn't do the fact for fact. He doesn't exchange facts very well. So, Piro, way to go, Gary. After all this time, you scared him off. Yeah, well, I don't think I was, I don't think I had to do all of that much to do that. This is an interesting thing. The Jewish doctrine of Marxism rejects the aristocratic principle of nature and replaces the eternal privilege of power and strength by mass numbers and their dead weight. Adolf Hitler, Mein Kampf. Wouldn't expected that from Hitler. I mean, I read Mein Kampf in like, whatever, 10th grade or something. So, yeah, I don't remember stuff like that, but yeah, it didn't seem like he was an elitist in that sense. I mean, elitist in the sense of it's almost like he's defending monarchy there, which is kind of ew. Anyway, thanks, I love it. I don't know what that is. Morbid atheist. Let's see. I kind of want Dumpf not to do anything about climate change. Well, there's nothing anybody can do really. Realistically, we're kind of fucked. So, I don't know if Hillary was going to do all that much, or even Bernie Sanders, because it's really expensive to do anything about it. 10 billion tons of methane are trapped in the Arctic and Russian tundra. Yeah, well then, if you go down to, the South Pole, it's even worse because it's all frozen as water. Well, no, that's the North Pole. Yeah, it's all frozen as in ice underneath it. So it's not even just the tundra. There's a whole bunch of methane frozen in the water underneath it, which is even more. Yeah, so once it gets hot, it's going to get really hot. We just need maybe 1 more degree Celsius to release all that glorious methane. Yes, well, yeah, like I said, it might be that it doesn't just do this little global warming thing forever. Like, there'll be a point where all of a sudden it's not just hot, but it's like fucking hot. Yeah. This guy is a kook. Makes me more sure in the Trump vote. Oh, yeah, well, that's just too brilliant. You don't get what you deserve, Neil. Double A. Yes. Which is doom. $5 an hour wages. That's what you're going to get. Anti-Contavad rules is this shit. Well, gee, that's really brilliant. What an argument. From Mexico man. Yeah. Well, you're just making my argument for me. Thank you, retard. Anyway, well thought out. Thank you. Finally get it. No, we won't bother with that. That's a compliment. Look, I look back on my younger days. I wouldn't have heard or understood half of what you say today. I'm glad I'm past that phase. Yeah, see, girls like me sometimes, which is good. Let's see. Only 7 left to 10,000 thumbs. yeah. This whole 10,000 thing. I'll never get over 10,000, right? Because every time I go 1 over 10,000, I drop. So it's never. It's been like 3 times I was at 10,000 in the past, and it just, then they do some cleaning of subscribers, and you go back to 8,000. So something will happen. All right, how did you get the camera cool effect? Seems too precise to manually be focusing it on your face. Oh, okay, so that's the video where I actually used the Google thing. That video was so, I don't know, I like that video, and nobody, it's got really low views, which is funny. Old Man Snowball. I thought it was a very good analogy. But anyway, like Old Man River, and besides, a lot of things I liked about that video, and it's not very popular. Anyway, I should do videos about my unpopular videos and just tell people, hey, that's a very good video, you cunts. But anyway, yeah, the camera was to this, and so I used the Google Fix-It thingy to fix the shakes. So that's the effect. The effect is Google making the image smaller when there's a lot of jitter. So it looks like it's zooming in because it makes the image smaller because it has to do the get rid of the vibration thing. So it lowers the resolution of the image. So by lowering the resolution of the image, it makes it look like it's zooming in, when no, it's just cutting off all the noise by making the image resolution smaller. Anyway, can we move on from the fake Sagan guy? You know, I don't. You know, these people who critique what conversations I choose to have with just like these vague statements. It just, you know, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I make videos because I think there's something important that needs to be discussed and all that kind of stuff. Now, you want to explain to me why it's not important, fine. But this generic crap comments, they're not very helpful. And they just look like kind of raggy complaints. Great news. Fakey has admitted defeat, as if he was ever likely to win with his pathetic arguments. The icing on the cake is that he's closing his YouTube account. Champagne, anyone? Well, again, YouTube is already, you know, the crickets. And, you know, I have to concede fake Sagan was a disappointment in this argument, you know. I mean, parts of it were an interesting challenge. I mean, you got a Orthodox Christian who's, well, obviously it's not Orthodox because he's obviously not behaving consistent with Orthodox doctrine. So he's like a Reformed Orthodox, which again, these titles get, you know, nonsensical. Well, anyway, I'm just saying there was something in here that might have been worth a conversation. So, and this guy was like, informed Latinos voted Trump, you know, and, you know, I pointed out, no, Latinos voted God, okay, and just as they did in California. When California had a referendum for gay marriage, it was the Latino Christian Catholic fuckers who fascistly took away that right. So all these people who think the immigrants are good for the Democratic Party, are good for progressive ideals, you're voting on the you're betting on the wrong horse. That horse is not going to help you. They're going to hurt you, and they're hurting you bad. Okay, they hurt you in this election, quite obviously. Religion is on the move again, and you fuckers just didn't see that coming, and it ran you right the fuck over. Trump's fake, I mean, it was so, and it's not like smart religion. It's like the dumbest religious fuckers on earth. I mean, Trump even said, basically, he said, well, how can you say I'm not religious? I won the evangelicals, the evangelicals. I won them. How could I not be religious? I mean, that's how, it's just so ironic, right? Because he just lied to me. He just says, yeah, the Bible's my favorite book. Yeah, of course I don't give a shit about anything in it, and I grab them by the pussy and all that kind of crap. I don't care about the poor and all this shit, and I am a rich man, a preposterously rich man. I rub it in your nose how fucking rich I am. I sit there and actually take my richness and shove it in your, I don't gently just push it into your nostrils. I shove it in your nostrils. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And so even though the Bible says 7 fucking times the odds of a rich man getting into the kingdom of God are those of a camel going through the eye of a needle, even though it says that, Jesus said that 7 fucking times, not that he said 7 times, but it was reported on 7 times, and it's kind of one of the most dramatic interactions Jesus has, because he actually has a conversation with a rich man. And these fuckers vote for him. They think, oh, he's a good Christian. I mean, fuck. And so you say, look, idiocracy. You say it's coming right for us. And these fuckers like Piro and stuff, they just sit there and say, well, that's not a problem. No, it's a big fucking problem. You're never going to win another election, you dumbass. Oh, anyway. Fuck. The new religious are more dangerous than the old religious. That's the irony of this. The Democratic Party can win back some of the old farts, okay, by just being a little bit reasonable. A little, like, they like the word fairness, old farts. It's the new cunts that don't like it. They're the ones who want to run a monarchy or something, or anarchy, or, you know, some other fucked up bullshit. Well, anyway. Alright, so that's enough. I don't think there's anything else here. Inmendham, are you vegan? I'm just so sick of these cunts. God damn. Duh, but what difference does it make what I am? I make arguments. Can't you people see there's arguments that, like, it's 95%, okay, like there's 5% jokes, sort of, and the 95%, well, okay, there's 95% arguments, and then 4% jokes, and then 1% fuck you. Why do you need to know any more? Why do you even need to query who I am or what I am? What the fuck do I have to do with it? Yeah, it's kind of like a performance art, okay? I'm an actor, even though I'm just really portraying me, but I'm just saying, just think of it that way, and then you won't have to worry about any of this shit about who I am or what I am. I'm irrelevant. The arguments are the only thing that's relevant. And the arguments seem pretty fucking vegan, retard. Shit. Anyway. I think that's enough. Maybe. I could probably add more. No, that'll be good. That's good. I'm good. So yeah, this was the goodbye video from Fake Sagan. Yeah, this is...
And it was the truth.
He gave me the victory this way.
Is that when...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know he doesn't mean any of that, but, you know, it is fun. You know. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, obviously I'm not wallowing in anything, because this is not, you know, this is not victory. I know what victory is going to look like, and this isn't what it looks like. Okay, so yeah. And especially, you know, if Fake Sagan shows up with a bunch of victory snacks, yeah, I don't think I'm eating them. Yeah, I don't really. Especially after you had a conversation with Brett Keane. Who the fuck's, you know, you don't know what's in your fucking, yeah. Nope, nope, nope. I'll eat the garnish. Anyway, till next time. And such, and so forth and whatnot.